All right. Good morning. It is Monday, July the 15th, 2024. We hope everyone had a nice weekend. What a weekend. Of course, dominating the headlines, former President Trump survives an assassination attempt at his rally in Pennsylvania. Um, I think most of you know here at the office, we try for the most part to avoid the political, kind of stick to the more actionable, tax planning, investment planning, retirement research and data. But I thought it was important that I touch on this historic event as it pertains to financial markets, and definitely worth me noting ahead of time here. From a political standpoint, the political implications, narratives, viewpoints, uh, much more important than anything I'm going to share this morning. But I'm not an expert in those things, so I'm going to stay in my lane. Really important. We'll leave that to them. I'll stay in my lane in terms of what I am an expert in, and that is what truly drives financial markets and prices, the data, the science behind what moves markets. Um, this actually the event, it ties in a little bit to, for those of you that read our most recent quarterly newsletter that I write. Just this a core skill for investors is this ability to discern the difference between like noise. Okay, something happens, sometimes even remarkable events, and the narratives and the noise, contrasting that to real data. Okay, and what I mean by data in financial markets is cash flows, profits. For stocks, for example, like that is what drives prices: futures, cash flows, profits. Because if an event happens where there's a narrative that will actually impact future cash flows, profits, that changes real data, which changes financial prices, markets, and in our world, that's really important. Okay, so that being said, we have this assassination attempt. The former president survives. How does it impact markets? Okay, now the beautiful thing about markets is prices, at least in most markets, prices get updated every day, every trading day, I should say. All right, so one thing you can do, that I do, I know a lot of smart investors do, is you can look at, okay, market closed on Friday. Okay, we know all the prices. Over the weekend, from an economic standpoint, there's no new data being released, things like that. We just have this obvious event. Okay, so now you have futures markets this morning, and so the difference between Friday's close and what we have this Monday morning, okay, is largely going to be the difference in the perceived, like the aggregate expectations of the market participants, the change in real data, real future data, okay? And these are all probabilities that there's millions of market participants. There's going to be all different types of narratives on how potentially an event like this might change the cash flows and the bottom lines for a lot of companies, okay? But like a lot of really smart investors do, you let the market do the talking, okay? So the difference between Friday's close and this morning, you see U.S. equity market higher, okay? Particularly small caps higher. And so I just thought I'd give one kind of example of the way a narrative can end up turning into a change in real data and what really moves markets. Okay, so I read a number of things over the weekend, but one narrative that I thought could be moving markets here this morning. The former president survives the assassination attempt. Okay, you got to follow the dots. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, likely that increases the momentum, okay, of his campaign. Okay, next dot, given the events over the weekend, that like most experts, it seems like the probability that he wins the election likely increased due to the events over the weekend. Okay, if the Trump administration comes in again, it increases the probability that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act gets extended, right? That's a different thing we're going to talk about in the fall reviews this year. But again, the Tax Cuts and Jobs that was set to sunset right after 2025. Okay, so he wins office. Should he win office, higher probability that Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is also extended. Okay, which objectively, if that stays in place, that is very beneficial for small to mid-sized businesses. Okay, and so that's why you look at that's how you kind of follow the dots. So how does a narrative turn into impacting real data? Okay, that's just one example. But you see small caps up a bunch this morning. Okay, so we'll see the way this all plays out. Again, from a financial perspective, yeah, there are a lot of moving pieces. We still have an economy that really could move in either direction. Just to touch on that, last week, we did receive some encouraging inflation data. Right? So we had CPI came out last week. The market cheered it, loved it. So 3% year over year. The month over month actually decreased, right? So 0.1%, a reduction. They call it deflation. But so markets love that. Even international equities rallied on that. So we'll see the way this plays out. Again, it's ever changing. That's why you really need to have a dynamic plan, rebalancing strategy. This week on tap we have retail sales, which those have been particularly weak the last handful of reports. So we'll see the way that plays out. But yeah, wild weekend. But, questions, comments, concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team. On that note, fall reviews are right around the corner, so we will be in touch on that piece in terms of scheduling a time. We get so excited to see many of you in those review seasons and to learn about kind of how the summer went, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So we hope everyone has a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.